So guys, today I want to hook you up with the correct release, and the way I'm going to get you to work on this can be detailed and dialed in to your specific requirements. And for me, this is something you would do at home for 5 minutes if you want to weekly, but just to give you some club face control on the golf ball. So what I've got a T-peg taped onto a golf club, and I've got a cup on the ground. Now you can use any cup you want, and you can use a magnet on the tee. Now, a bit of kudos for this drill goes a little bit to my friend Chris Ryan, who saw something around this area from Andrew Rice, but I'm going to try and give you a slight different take on it than what they've done. Most golfers would have a club face that's too open in the downswing and too open at contact. Let's say that's the guys that are kind of 7-8 handicap and above. Being very general with my statement there, but that's what I see with almost 30 years of coaching. Golfers who are 7 handicap and below quite often will have the club face that closes down too much, normally from a flippy action like this, where the hands get overtaken by the club and the club points to the left and increases its loft. They sometimes will move forward with their upper body to compensate for that so it doesn't get such a high flight, but it'll certainly be almost left going left or starting straight going left. Now with this, depending on your ball flight, you can change how you work this cup and T-peg routine. So in an ideal world, in the downswing, we would want to feel that T-peg is pointing somewhat towards the ground, and at contact, it wants to be pointing into that cup. It wants to collect that cup. Now, if we were trying to change the club face, then we can react how this cup moves. So let me just put that cup back on. Because it's only a small cup and the T-peg on tape, it does come off if we stay too static. So the cup now is on the T-peg, and it should be working on an arc, and it should be pretty much, if I was trying to release the club, coming off the club head somewhere in that kind of post-impact area. Now if I was a hooker of the golf ball, I'd want to try and keep that cup on there for longer, because that's going to keep the face open for longer. So the low handicap golfers and the guys that hit the ball too much right to left, we want to keep the cup on longer. Let's show you that. So this would be my low handicap release. So the club head to the right of the hands and the cup staying on as long as we can. Now if that produces too much of a face opening, then obviously we have to tweak it. Now the guys who want to get that club face closing down quicker, then we want to try and rotate it even earlier, and if anything, throw it more to the side. Like that. So you can very much feed what you need depending on what your ball flight is. So we want more release. This T-peg is going to go down to the ground a little quicker. Again, try not to do it with the hands. It's a forearm, it's a wrist action. If we want to hold the club off more, it's more this way. So the visual of just the T-peg itself will be good. When you add the cup to it, for me, it makes it a little bit more dynamic straight away and evidence-based straight away. So doing this, as I said, in the garden for 5 minutes of the day, feeding the one you need, for me is vital. Let's try and show you some shots relating to the same thing. So let's go ahead and try and hit 2 balls here now, and we're going to talk very much about the heel versus toe relationship. So when I'm trying to get the face open, I'm trying to get that heel to beat the toe as I go through, still swinging on the same arc. So if I wanted to create more fade or reduce the hook, heel versus toe. Really working hard there. Ball flight's pretty straight. Again, I normally turn the ball over a touch, so that reduced the amount of turnover I would get. Now, if I wanted to increase the release, which is 90% of golfers or 95% of golfers, I'm trying to get the toe now to beat the heel, but again, not to do it with flapping, to do it with rotation. It's important difference that. And for me, that's a world of trouble, because it feeds what I don't want. So that was a huge hook, started left and went left viciously, solid strike. And because I'm rotating more, probably gives me a little bit more speed, but certainly doesn't give me the direction in the shots I want. So the motto, the message from this video very much is about feeding what you need. The ideal release would be the cup rotating and being dropped somewhere around about here. The guys that want to hit it less left would want to feed the cup more up in the air, and the guys that want to increase the release. Certainly short term, try and get that cup to go off much quicker and get it rotating much quicker. That'll help you to close that club head down, club face down, and reduce those cut shots you get straight away. Feeding the club face is the most influential part of the golf swing. It is 75% responsible for where the ball starts when we're talking direction of shots with an iron. Slightly more with the driver and slightly more with the putter. So it's very influential. Give it a go and let me know how you get on.